Salut! In today's video, we're going to be talking about the 8 mistakes that new freelancers or new micro-entrepreneurs are doing once in France. The first mistake is to actually come with the wrong visa. At least once a week, I have someone contacting me and saying, "Hey Valerie, I'm in France, ready to register my business," only to discover that their visa is a long-stay visitor visa that doesn't allow them to work. There's a difference between what the embassy might say and what the tax office thinks. The embassy might say, you can come over with a long-stay visitor visa as long as you're working with companies outside of France. The tax office doesn't agree with that. The tax office says that if France is your residency, this is where you spend more than 180 days per year, you're working from home, and your family interest is here, your spouse is here, your kids are going to French school, you should have a French business. So pay attention to what do you see yourself doing once you're in France, and come with the right visa. If you want to freelance, have a legit business, you're looking at a visa profession libérale or a visa talent. The second mistake that people are making is that they are making things too complex. Maybe that back home you have a US LLC or you might have a UK limited, and you think, okay, the French equivalent is a French sole, earl, or a SAS SASU, so I'm going to go for this. But the thing is that this is more complex for a first-time freelancer in France. Even though you might have had a business abroad, French businesses work differently. Taxes are calculated in a very different way, and most people who start with a French incorporated business, in a year's time, we have a big shock because they didn't understand the tax rules. This year I had someone who started an earl French incorporated business. She said to me, well, actually, I've been taking dividends along the year, and actually you can't do that in France. And the type of business she went for, an earl, you don't really have dividends. I also have the case of people going for a SAS, which is the closest to the UK Limited, the American LLC, not realizing how much the salary costs. In France, on the net salary, we have to add employee social charges plus employer social charges. And we're looking basically at least 60% on top of your net salary for the total cost to the business. So if you go for a SAS with a visa talent and then you don't pay yourself enough, you'll have trouble to renew your visa. And then if you pay yourself the full amount, you might be surprised about how much it's costing you. So keep it simple, start with a micro-entrepreneur, understand how it works, and then as your business grows, you move up to a French incorporated business, earl, SAS, SASU, as and when you do develop and understand the taxes. The third mistake that new freelancers are doing is that they register a business only to want to add new activities within a month or so. Take your time to brainstorm what you want to do and make sure that the business you register reflects those 1 or 2 or 3 key activities. Depending on what you describe, you are going to relate to a different body and you will pay some different social charges. For instance, if you register as a video producer, you can say 1 month later, well, actually, I'm going to do a bit of laboring and then work as a carpenter. Carpenter is regulated, you can't do it, you have to relate to Chambre de Métier, they check your qualification. This week, I had a customer who called me to recap and say, okay, Valerie, I've got my business visa, this is what I want to do. I just want to brainstorm with you what I might want to add so we got it right from the first time. And believe me, if you register an activity now and add it in 2 months' time, as a new expat moving to France, it's gonna be super tricky to add extra activities. So think it first. The fourth mistake that I'm saying new freelancers or micro-entrepreneurs doing is not doing any invoicing. Sometimes I hear when my customer is not interested, they're just transferring the money to me. Or some people might say, I work with a platform like Upwork and Fiverr, and they're not interested either. It is compulsory for you to write an invoice from 25 euros and above. Even if your customer doesn't want it, you have to write the invoice and you have to keep it as a record. The second thing that I also see regarding invoicing is people not adding the right legal mentions. You don't add your business details and your SIRET number. You don't add your customer's details. There's no references to VAT. And believe me, anybody can get it wrong because I even see some lawyers doing online consultations, not sending a receipt or an invoice when it's compulsory. Now we're halfway through the 8 mistakes that freelancers are doing. And if you're starting to think, oh my word, I got that wrong, I've got no idea how to do it, I'm inviting you to join Manage Your Micro-Entrepreneur, which is my online course where I'm showing you how to manage a new micro-entrepreneur business from understanding your paperwork, creating your online account, creating your invoices, your bookkeeping, declaring your turnover and so on. And with the online course, you also get access to the forum to ask me questions. And every month we have a live Q&A with other students where everybody asks their questions. And whenever there are some changes and updates, I'm briefing you on what you need to do. So I'll add the link below the video and you can join anytime along the year. The fifth mistake that I'm saying is no bookkeeping whatsoever. Yes, it is compulsory to have a logbook. Even as a micro entrepreneur, you're going to need at least what we call a livre de recettes, which is a logbook of all the money that you're cashing in with the references. And if your activity is buy to resell, you will also need a livre des achats, which is logging your expenses. So this is compulsory for any business. If you have a different type of business, you need a full accountant. But for micro entrepreneur, at least your bookkeeping, like comptable, the basic accountancy, which can be on paper, it could be a spreadsheet, it could also be a software. And as time goes, we will be moving towards software. And the other thing about this is that you have to keep those records for 10 years. Yes, 10 years. Whether it's on paper or on a drive, you have to keep it for 10 years. And if you have a control from the tax office, they could go back and ask you to dig out the paperwork for the last 3 years. The sixth mistake made by freelancers and new micro entrepreneurs is to not have a dedicated bank account. It is compulsory for micro entrepreneurs to have a dedicated bank account from 10,000 euros, and for other types of businesses, it is compulsory from the start. You want to avoid mixing your business money from your personal money. So you have your personal current account that you're going to be using to pay your invoices, and you create one that you're going to be using for your business, and then you're going to be transferring some money as if you were paying yourself at the end of the month to your personal bank account. This is very useful, especially if you have a business visa to renew. You will show the regular income moving from one account to the other and show that you are self-sufficient. The seventh mistake from new freelancers and micro entrepreneurs is to ignore their admin and their postal mail. In the first 3 to 4 months in business, you're going to be receiving quite a lot of postal mail. Yes, postal mail, and you have to sort these out. You never want to ignore a letter from URSSAF, Impôt, or CPAM. These are very important documents and you want to find them as well. If you need to answer, you answer, but you always keep a copy in your own folder so you can go back to it later. And the last mistake that freelancers or new micro entrepreneurs are making is to fall for scams. Unfortunately, as part of the mail that you will receive in the first 3 to 4 months, you will be receiving a few scams, letters that look like formal invoices for formal directories, and these people are playing on your not understanding the system, even French people, thinking you have to add your business onto a VAT directory or European directory. Those are scams, never pay them. They can go from 98 euros to 400 euros. Whenever you receive a bill through the post, especially as a micro entrepreneur, this has to send alarm bells in your head. You shouldn't be receiving any invoices. To think it's fully a scam. If you receive invoices from Impôt and URSSAF, you might want to check if something is not set up properly with your account. Micro entrepreneurs shouldn't be receiving bills, but other types of businesses, yes, they will receive invoices from URSSAF. These were the most common mistakes I see for new freelancers and micro entrepreneurs. Let me know if you've fallen for any of those mistakes. And again, if you want some help to learn to manage your micro entrepreneur business to keep you going for years, I'm inviting you to join Manage Your Micro Entrepreneur course and community, and I will add the link below the video. Salut, à bientôt.